Okay, this video is the basics of how to do mole problems. And so we're going to start off with some basic things when we're converting moles to atoms, molecules, or formula units. So if you look at the conversion factors that we'll be using for this unit, there are 4 of them that we're going to use. All right? And so the trick is to pick the one that goes with the problem. So anyway, this one says how many atoms are in 3.5 moles of sulfur. The first thing that you want to do is write down what the problem gives you. So you'll write down 3.5 moles, and I abbreviated MOL, in sulfur. You just put an S, that's the symbol. And you draw what I call a picket fence. Now you want to look up here and you want to pick the right conversion factor. So we have atoms, and we want to go to moles. So we got to find the one. Now these 3 have moles in them, so we're going to pick one of these. We wouldn't pick this bottom one because it doesn't have moles. Okay, and then we want to go to atoms. And so we find the one that has moles and atoms in it. All right, then we're going to use the principle of what I call the principle of diagonality. If you have moles here, you have to have the same unit diagonal from it. And if you look at the conversion factor, it says for every 1 mole of sulfur, you're going to have 6.02 e to the 23rd atoms of sulfur. Okay, then all you got to do is you would take the 3.5 moles times 6.02 to the 23rd power, and you would get this number on your calculator. Your calculator is going to say something like this: 2.107 e to the 24th. But we want to follow the rules of significant digits. So if your beginning problem has 2 digits, like this one right here, you should round this to 2 digits here. So the answer is going to be 2.1 e to the 24th. The units, see how the diagonal units cancel? And so then you're just left with atoms as an answer. Okay, so that's one way to do, that's one problem. Okay, let's try another one here. All right, so this one says how many moles are found in 2.80 e to the 24 atoms of helium. So the trick is you write down 2.80 e to the 24th atoms helium, and you draw your picket fence. Now we want to find moles, and we're starting with atoms. So we got to find the one that has moles and atoms in it, which is the top one. Okay, you wouldn't use these other ones because they don't have both moles and atoms in them. All right, so we're going to use the top one. Now we're going to apply the principle of diagonality, and this is the big trick here. This has atoms of helium here, so you need to have atoms down here, and you got to use the number that goes with atoms. So the number is there's 6.02 e to the 23rd atoms for every 1 mole helium. So notice in this part of the picket fence, I put the conversion factor in. I know which way to put it in because atoms has to be diagonal from atoms. That way they cancel and you're left with moles, which is what we're trying to find. Okay, so then you would just type in 2.80 to the 24th power divided, or times 1 divided by 6.02 to the 23rd power. And your calculator is going to have this big long number, like it's going to be 4.65116, and it goes on for a long way. Okay, something like that. But this right here has 1, 2, 3 significant digits, so we're going to round our answer to 3 digits. So we're going to have the 4.6. Before we write the 5, we're going to see, does the 5 round up or stay the same? It stays the same. So it's going to be 4.65 moles of helium. All right, that's a problem going from atoms to moles. All right, so let's try one with molecules here. So how many moles are in 4.90 e to the 26 molecules of water? So step one, you write down what the problem gives you. 4.90 e to the 26 molecules. Now you got to write the word molecules out because if you try to abbreviate it, it looks like moles. Okay? So don't abbreviate molecules. Okay, so we're starting with molecules. We got to go to moles. So we look which one has molecules and moles in it. This one right here. We can't use this one here because it only goes to atoms. So we got to use this one right here. So we got molecules here. We're going to have molecules here. What number goes with molecules? All right, so it's going to be 6.02 e to the 23rd molecules of water in 1 mole water. Okay, then you do the math. So you type in 4.90 e to the 26 divided by 6.02 e to the 23rd. And my calculator says something like this right here. It says 813.95. Okay, but we want to count our significant digits, 1, 2, 3. So we need to have 3 here. Okay, so we're going to write 8, 1, 3. But before we write the 3, does that 9 make the 3 go up? Yes, so instead of a 3, it should be a 4. And that's going to be moles water. Okay, I think that'll do it for this video. Here, I'll do one more and then we'll call it good. Okay, so I'll do a formula unit 1. Okay, so how many formula units are in 4 moles of calcium chloride? Okay, so you write 4 moles calcium chloride is CaCl2. You draw your picket fence. That's always the first step. Write down what the problem gives you. That's always the first step. Now, we're at moles, but we're trying to go to formula units. So we're at moles, we need to go to formula units. That's why we can't use this one, we can't use this one, we can't use this one. We have to use the one with moles and formula units in it. That's why we're going to use this one right here. So we've applied the principle of diagonality. 1 mole, for every 1 mole of calcium chloride, you have 6.02 e to the 23rd formula units calcium chloride. All right, so then I'm going to do the math here. So I'm going to take 4 times 6.02 e to the 23rd divided by 1, which I'm just going to skip on the calculator. Okay, now my calculator says 2.408 e to the 24th, but I have 1, 2, 3 significant digits here, so I'm going to round my answer to 3. So 2.4, the 8 makes that go to a 1. There's my 3 significant digits. E to the 24th, formula units of calcium chloride. Okay, that's it for this video. On the next video, it's kind of an important one because I'm going to show you a tricky thing about going from like atoms and moles and things like that. When you have molecules and formula units, there's kind of a difference between that and an atom. It's a kind of a tricky thing, so make sure you watch the next video. That's it for that one, this video here.